Hello everyone and welcome to Hitting the Field. If you didn't meet me on last week's episode, my name is Hannah Jo Groves and this is my first Hitting the Field show sitting in the host seat. I couldn't be more excited, especially because we've got a super great show for you today. First, I'll have Tumetel and Gadiel Cartagena on to talk with me about the rookies that have stood out to them so far in the NBA season. Then, of course, we gotta have Grant Wheeler and Jason Hamby on to process all that happened this NFL divisional playoff weekend, and we'll try to make predictions on what the heck is gonna happen next. I'm your host, Hannah Jo Groves. Today is Monday, January 24th, 2022, and Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Welcome back. Now, we're almost halfway through the NBA's regular season, and I feel like we've got a pretty good feel for how most teams and players are performing. Of course, this includes the rookies from the 2021 draft class. I'm joined by Tumetel and Gadiel Cartagena, who are going to tell me their top 3 favorite rookies. Cliff, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic, Hannah. I'm so excited to be here once again.
Oh, good. I'm glad to have you here. Gadiel?
I'm doing great. I listened to the entire Adele discography, all 4 albums yesterday, so I am one with myself, and I'm at peace. Feel great.
Okay, how about temperature-wise? How are you feeling?
I'm a little chilly, as
Classic.
usual.
All right, great. Well, I want to work our way up to the top of you guys' list here. Cliff, let's start with you. Who ranks number 3 on your favorite rookies list?
Number 3 will be Cade Cunningham. Look, the first round pick is always burdened with carrying the franchise in one season, and to me, that's not fair. He's currently averaging 15 points, almost 5 rebounds, almost 5 assists, and since the beginning of the NBA season, he had to overcome a training camp injury, which put him off in like 20 games. And it gave him a slow start, but as the season wore on, he's showing us why he is the first pick. You know, and you can tell by his true shooting percentage. It's going way up, and he's instigating the offense a lot more for his team. So his team is putting his full trust onto him. And he's not the best rookie, but he's showing a case on why he deserves some consideration. So I put him at my number 3 slot, and he's like the only rookie in franchise history since Grant Hill and Isaiah Thomas to record at least 4 games of 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists this early into his career. That deserves a 3rd slot for me.
All right, number 1 overall pick out of Oklahoma State. Gadiel, how is he playing compared to how you thought he would do?
He's been all right. He's very inefficient. He takes some really stupid shots. But like Cliff said, he does have that burden of trying to carry the franchise, an absolutely atrocious franchise, which is the Detroit Pistons. I mean, they have 0 team vision right now, and they literally just put Cade Cunningham in there, and they said, figure it out. And he's working his way through it. So I wouldn't put him in my top 3, but I understand why Cliff did. He definitely is producing. So credit to Cade. He's trying to overcome a tough situation, but it's not the results are a little mixed right now.
Right. When he shoots threes from a hard spot, he can make them, and they're beautiful when he makes them. So we'll see how he does. Number 1 overall pick, not maybe disappointing on some fronts there. But Gadiel, who is at your number 3 spot for your favorite rookie?
I'm going to go with my guy, Franz Wagner. Now, this is someone that not a lot of people expected, but he's low-key definitely been a top 3 rookie this year. At moments, he's been the best rookie. He has a 37-point game against the Milwaukee Bucks on Giannis. Not easy to do, obviously. So Franz Wagner, he's been unbelievable. Kind of reminds me of like a Gordon Hayward type player before his injury with the Celtics, someone that can actually be an all-star. So I believe in Franz Wagner. He is averaging 15, 3, and 5, playing really good on a really bad Magic team. I think Franz Wagner can be an all-star in the future. Haven't said that about a lot of Magic players previously, so credit to the Magic. They definitely got that pick right.
Yeah, so 8th overall pick out of Michigan. Cliff, if I'm not mistaken, this is your number 2 spot here.
Yes, it is. It is my number 2 spot. Like, Franz Wagner, sorry if I missed the name, deserves the 2nd slot, not the 3rd slot for you. Like, why? Who's your 2nd slot anyways? Because Franz Wagner is averaging.
Scotty Barnes.
He's my number 2 for Franz Wagner. He's averaging 38 points against the defending champs. That single game is the highest for any rookie so far, and he's absolutely playing magical for them. All right. But the most important part is his Eurostep. It's incredible. Like, it catches players off guard. So all of that, he deserves that 2nd slot. He doesn't deserve number 3. I mean, Scotty Barnes is playing great, but with him in the 2nd slot, as the second best rookie, it's a lot better than that. So Magic, if you're hearing this, keep him. Keep him right now.
I don't think they're gonna.
No, you guys better keep him, all right? Don't be enticed with a superstar, such an aging superstar, and get rid of all young players.
Like the Lakers.
I know a certain, the Lakers. I'm still upset by that, but Magic, keep this man, all right? Keep him well.
So, to your logic, because you did say the most important part is the Euro step, right? Who's the greatest basketball player of all time? Is it Manu Ginobili?
Not the no. What?
You were about to say that. Don't act like you weren't about to say that.
No, I said. I thought he was gonna say who was the greatest Euro step player of all time. It's Manu Ginobili, the greatest player of all time for Euro step.
Because you're putting Franz Wagner over Scotty Barnes, and you said Euro step.
Why is he number two? Why is he number two? Let me hear that.
Why is he
go
number
ahead
two?
with your number two.
So the Toronto Raptors are actually in the play-in. The Magic will not see that for a few years. Okay, so he's playing meaningful basketball. He's playing meaningful basketball on a meaningful team.
Okay.
He's averaging 15, 4, and 8. And he's shooting 41% on pull-up jump shots, which is the most important aspect in half-court offense. So Scotty Barnes, way better defender than Franz Wagner. Not discrediting Franz Wagner, he's a good defender, but Scotty Barnes has all-NBA defensive potential, and he's been playing up to it this season. He's playing better basketball on a better basketball team. I think it's a clear option for him to be better. It's not disrespecting Wagner. He's been great. Barnes has just been better. And I believe you left him outside of your top 3.
Scotty Barnes, yeah, he's not in there at all.
Well, I will
Do
give.
you hate Canada?
Whoa.
I don't hate Canada. No, Canada. If you're watching
This
this,
just in.
I don't hate Canada. I love Canada.
Cliff
but
hates Canada.
listen, if you're comparing Scotty Barnes and Wagner's situation, Wagner's playing in the youngest team in the NBA right now. The youngest team.
Boo-hoo.
So and Scotty Barnes is having all those veterans helping him, giving him tips on how to play better. And I know they're still young, but if you're giving him time, in the long run, he's gonna be better than Scotty Barnes, and he's currently so far in my number 2 for that reason.
Let's talk about the Magic for a second. You've got Wagner, you've got Suggs, and you've got Anthony on that team. 3 young guys. When they go into this draft season, who are they going to need to build their team around? Is it Franz Wagner?
It's a tough question, but as of right now, yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Because again, what he's doing is just absolutely insane. Gadiel, chill out, all right?
He's not saying
didn't say
anything. He's
anything
not
at
saying
all.
Just chill out.
That's
I mean,
my bad,
his
my bad.
active
Free.
streak of 18 consecutive double-digit scoring games is the longest by any rookie this season. It's the second longest streak for a Magic player. The first is being Shaquille O'Neal. That's saying a lot, and he can score, and he's a forward. Okay, the Magic have plenty of guards.
This is true. This is true.
Oh my God.
I respect the Wagner opinion. I personally would go with Cole Anthony. He's having one of the most underrated seasons in the entire NBA. Credit to Cole. He's been fantastic. So I think he's someone that can really just generate offense, pass the ball, score, rebound, do a little bit of everything from the guard spot is something that they definitely should look to build around, especially considering this next draft is very, very forward heavy. You have Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren. Those guys, bring them in addition to what they already have. I think the Magic could build something there, but they have the luxury of not really needing to pick yet.
Right.
They still have the opportunity to just let these guys develop, see what they become. Wagner can become an all-star, Cole Anthony become an all-star, and Jalen Suggs reminds me a lot of Drew Holiday when he was younger. So they have something building there in Orlando, but
They do.
it's not pretty right now.
Well, for our sake, we can hope that they do have something building because
have
it's been a
something.
while since we've been a contender. So before we move on to our number 1 picks, I want to go over these guys' honorable mentions. Let's go with Gadiel first.
Honorable mention, I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, a 4-year senior at the University of Alabama, Herbert Jones.
Herbert, yeah.
He's been playing fantastic. If you look at any advanced metrics, he's been the single most valuable defensive player on the perimeter, on the wing, in the entire NBA. Not just rookies, the entire NBA. And he's shooting 40% from 3, shooting on 50, 40, 80 splits, which for a rookie that was not supposed to be a shooter coming in, he's doing a fantastic job. Credit to Herb Jones. I love what he's doing. He's going to be a big part of what the Pelicans are doing moving forward.
All right. Any opinion on that front?
I like that.
we
Here's
go.
my honorable mention. It's Josh Giddey.
Oh.
People
The TikToker.
don't.
Yeah.
Yes. No, yeah. Sure. TikToker. People don't give him credit a lot, and I'm about to give credit right now. Just by stats alone, as of right now, it's not close, but he's averaging almost a near triple double. But in this month, in his first 8 games, he's averaging 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists, while shooting 48% overall and 41% from 3. And if you even think about it, this Oklahoma City Thunder team, they're the worst shooting team in the NBA right now, and he's averaging almost 6 or 7 assists. I mean, that just shows you if he actually has a good shooting team with him, he can average a double-double right now as a rookie.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he controls the offense, and he's fundamentally skilled. Like, his favorite move, from what I've been seeing, is that little, like, pump fake spin layup move. It's something to, like, you should definitely take in consideration. He's my honorable mention. And again, I mean, I know people keep saying this record will be broken, but he's still the youngest player to have a triple-double.
What do you think about the TikTok star?
I love it. I think Cliff's absolutely right.
Really?
That was perfect.
Something we actually agree on that.
Yeah, no, Josh Giddey's definitely deserving. He's going to be all NBA rookie. He's been really good this year in a bad situation, like you said, so not much more to add there.
Well, the good news is, we don't always disagree on this show. Speaking of which, you guys have the same number 1 pick here. So, Cliff, let's start with you. Who's your favorite rookie and why is it Evan Mobley?
I mean, this rookie's making 55% of his shots, and he's almost blocking two blocks a night.
Yeah.
And what's great about him is that, like, big guys use their length defensively to make up for their lack of lateral movement. He has both.
Yeah,
and that's
7 feet.
Yeah, that's a scary sight. And he is just absolutely, like, he can, like, guard all 5 positions right now. He's going to get cooked, of course. That's obvious. He's a rookie. But if his career keeps playing on like this, he can guard all 5 positions and, like, just absolutely become a nightmare defensively for anyone. And he's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a veteran.
Yeah, he fits right in.
Exactly.
That's what I was noticing.
Exactly. And if someone like LeBron James, the Cavaliers legend, the superstar of all superstars for Cavaliers, if he's saying that he sees something in Mobley and he's proving him right, like, it's one thing for me to talk about how great Evan Mobley is, but it's another thing to, like, him showcasing work. If he's proving him right, I mean, like, what does that say about him?
Anything to add?
Yeah, no, I love what Evan Mobley's been able to do. I mean, you look at LeBron giving someone praise. So, for example, Talen Horton-Tucker, he gets the praise, but he hasn't lived up to it when Evan Mobley is getting the praise, and he's living up to it. So, Evan Mobley, he's been fantastic. Like Cliff said, he's playing like a veteran.
Yes.
He's playing like an all-NBA defensive kind of guy. This year, in year 1, I think he's going to win one or multiple Defensive Player of the Years, playing really good basketball on a really good basketball team and anchoring a really good defense. Not much more to say. Evan Mobley is the Rookie of the Year.
All right. Well, I think his youth definitely shows only when he's popping up on defense and getting blocks that are ridiculous. And that's all the time we have for our NBA segment. Thanks, Cliff and Gadiel, for coming on today. You'll be hearing more from us about the NBA, especially as the trade deadline creeps closer and closer. When we come back, we'll be talking NFL with Grant Wheeler and Jason Hamby. Stay with us.
With Cowboys versus Giants. Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL is
my
gonna
God.
the NFL is gonna make it happen.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the day after divisional playoff weekend, and wow. Every game was a nail-biter, which I guess is all you can ask for. I'm here now with Jason Hamby and Grant Wheeler to talk about all the craziness that happened this weekend. Jason, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling phenomenal. It was the best divisional round I think we've ever seen in the NFL, and I'm excited to get into it.
Definitely. Yeah, Grant, how are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. Not only was it the greatest, divisional round of all time, greatest weekend in football of all time.
Honestly.
Almost went 4-0 in my road picks.
That's
Went
right.
3-1.
That's
I'll
right.
take that, though. The Bills let me down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bills let you down in probably millions and millions and millions and millions and everybody.
We love Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, couldn't get the job done.
I know. Well, let's get right into it. So the first game we saw, Bengals versus Titans. Score was 19-16. Bengals came away with it. So it was a prevalent problem here, and this was the nightmare that we thought we were going to face as Joe Burrow fans, because in the draft, they didn't get Penei Sewell. They got Jamar Chase. And we were like, Joe Burrow's going to die. He has no protection at all. And that's the nightmare that we were facing with this game. He got sacked 9 times and still came away with it. So, Grant, what happened here? This didn't seem like a super prevalent problem before. So what did the Titans do different here?
The Titans have a really good front seven. They can rush the quarterback easily. They can stack the box. The Bengals' offensive line has always been suspect ever since Joe Burrow's been there. 9 times. Most times a quarterback has been sacked in a game while winning a playoff game.
Right.
The old record was Donovan McNabb back in 2003 with 8. Joe Burrow, I'm really praying for him, honestly. In the AFC title game in Arrowhead, going against that Kansas City Chiefs defense, they're going to be all over him.
Yeah.
And he's been running for his life. Let's just be honest here.
the
Now,
reality.
can he win the game? I think he can. Big Daddy, Joey Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty. I knew I messed that up there. But Big Daddy, Joe Shiesty, I think he can take it all the way. I really do.
All right. Well, what can they do, Jason, to prevent the same problem happening against the Chiefs?
Well, I mean, the only thing that saved them against the Titans was McPherson.
Right.
There was, I mean, countless
McPherson.
McPherson. So many times where Joe Burrow is taking a 15-yard sack and drives him almost right out of field goal range, and McPherson saves the day with a 48-yard or 54-yard or whatever the case may be. And that was the only thing, that and the Tannehill 3 interceptions that allowed. And I have to add, the Bengals defense not getting enough praise. Yes, 3 interceptions. They held Derrick Henry 20 carries, 62 yards, 3.1 a carry. That might be his lowest average of the season. I don't know, but the Bengals defense deserves a lot of credit.
Did we really think that Derrick Henry was fully 100% back?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
I mean, he's playing with a steel plate with 5 screws in his foot.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I was kind of thinking. But still, I mean, even despite that, it seemed like the few times that he did get going, he still couldn't be stopped.
Well, he got a TD on one of the drives, too.
Right. I mean, this guy's an athlete. He's going to continue to be good next season. But, you know, I for Joe Shiesty's sake, I'm glad that the Titans couldn't get it done. Whether that's because Derrick Henry wasn't fully back or not, I got to say I'm kind of glad to see it. Let's move to the next game here. 49ers versus Packers. Now, my dad bet me $5 that the Packers would win. I'm $5 richer today, folks.
Let's go.
So, Aaron Rodgers grew up cheering for the 49ers team. Did you hear about that? He's 0-4 against them in the postseason.
He's from California, so it's not
right,
surprising.
right. 0-4. Does that have something to do with it, that this is his childhood team, and then once it gets down to it and they meet in playoffs, he just can't get it done?
Just a kryptonite. I think
I
it's
guess
just
so.
a curse or bad luck for him.
Right.
The 49ers defense, though, really shut them down. The best offense in the NFL, the league MVP frontrunner, it was an incredible display to see. I know it was a defensive game, not many fireworks, not the most exciting, but it was a good, classic defensive game.
Well, yeah, and especially they kept making weird mistakes, those 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo was throwing wild passes, and when he did throw a nice pass, his receivers couldn't get to it, really. So Jimmy Garoppolo, what does he got to do to kind of clean up his act a little against the Rams?
Well, I mean, they have to get the ball into Kittle's hands as much as possible,
Right.
and you saw how often they were going to the pitch play with Deebo Samuel out of the backfield. I think they have to keep that up, steady diet of Deebo out of the backfield and shallow crossers, stuff like that, easy throws for Jimmy G. If the game is up to Jimmy G, the 49ers will not win this game.
I agree with you.
He's a game manager. He's not a true leader that can
Right.
knuckle down, take the team with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. But going back to Aaron Rodgers, you're the MVP probably of the regular season.
Right.
By all intents and purposes. You didn't score an offensive touchdown, that's a big problem.
Yes.
And this game is on you. You know, in the past, the whole stigma, the whole story was of why he didn't have more rings was the defense. They don't have a defense. The offense is great. Well, your defense didn't give up an offensive touchdown either.
Yeah.
I know your special teams was quite horrible.
Right. Always. Yeah, this whole season.
For your defense to play that well and you not to win, you go to not to win a playoff game.
Right.
The 1 seed, horrible.
Horrible. Well, then let's talk about that guy, Aaron Rodgers. What do you think his future holds?
Great question, Hannah.
Don't say what you're going to say.
I don't think he's going to stay in Green Bay.
Okay, but
I think he's that frustrated with them right now.
Right, but where do you think he's going to go?
He could go to Denver.
Do not say
He
that.
could go there.
He's not going to Denver.
Quarterback pedigree franchise.
No. What do you think, Jason?
I think he's going to take his talents to Jeopardy University and just.
Oh, see, I'd be fine with that.
Retire and just do that instead.
I'd
I
be
can see that.
100%. You know what? He did great. He's a talented guy and host of Jeopardy. Yeah, that would be great with me. Let's move on to the next game here before I get a little upset. So, Rams versus Buccaneers. This was ridiculous. Tom Brady couldn't get anything done in the first half, and then all of a sudden he comes up and ties them, only for the Rams to kick a field goal and win it all. So what were the dumb mistakes? You know, we see the kick, it happened twice, right? The kick goes out of bounds and then they had to take it into the 40.
line.
Yeah. So how did they kind of clean up those mistakes and get their head back in the game for the second half, those Bucs?
I think they just made some adjustments at halftime. Third quarter, they were still down 27-3.
Right.
I think it was the turnovers the Rams committed. You know, Cam Akers fumbling the ball a couple of times. That gave the Bucs some momentum and more opportunities to come back. But their defense just wasn't good enough yesterday. Just wasn't good enough. Stafford was having his way, and that final play to Cup, that sealed the deal.
Dude, and Matthew Stafford, that one snap that went right over his head. There was just all kinds of craziness happening during this game. And again, it's crazy to see the Rams come out on top. I wasn't sure what was going to happen here. But what does the future look like for Tom Brady?
He might be riding off into sunsets as well.
Do you think so?
It depends.
One more year.
Right. I want to see him play one more year because he's certainly capable of it. And all the times that he says he wants to play till 45, 46, 47, he's still one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Totally.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Although I am less likely to give him credit for this comeback because of those weird things. The snap over the head.
Yes.
They score the touchdown. I love, as a Jags fan, I love seeing Jalen Ramsey get burnt. That was the best part of this game for me. Mike Evans totally toasted him. Thank you, Mike Evans. But the first play for the Rams, Cam Akers fumbles the ball.
Yeah.
The Rams tried to give it away. I mean, yes, credit Tom Brady for doing what he had to do without Antonio Brown, without Chris Godwin.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
But the Rams, it was, I don't know what the Rams were doing. They were trying to give it away, and they almost did.
They were handing it to him.
Right.
Yeah, well, and Tom Brady, I think, showed that he definitely was the GOAT coming back, to tie it up that close. I feel like he has one more year. I told
He's
you.
got a one-year option.
I told you earlier, though, I feel like he should have, guys, I feel like he should have just left it. I feel like he should have just left it when he won the Super Bowl.
1 year at the absolute most.
Well, okay. Do we have time for one more game? Yeah, all right, so Chiefs versus Bills. Guys.
Game of the year.
Game
of
the history of the NFL.
Honestly. I mean, great football being played on both sides, both quarterbacks working their butts off, especially, I mean, we're used to seeing Patrick Mahomes do that kind of stuff, but Josh Allen was just ridiculous. So how did we feel about the Bills' gutsy calls going forward on 4th down in the first quarter right off the bat?
You have to go forward against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't settle for field goals against a high-octane offense like that. You have to pull the trigger on every 4th down situation you have, unless it's deep in your own territory. Don't do that because you're just giving Patrick Mahomes an easy opportunity to score. No, the Bills did what they had to do. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the ball last.
And we will get into that later. Jason, how did Tyrann Mathieu coming out of this game give a little more hope for this Bills team?
I mean, it changed everything. Tyrann Mathieu is the control center. He is everything in the back end for this defense. And he's the reason why Gabe Davis had his way.
Yeah.
We have to shout him out. Wouldn't be a hitting the field episode here at UCF if we didn't. 4 touchdowns, playoff record.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis running wild. And they committed all the attention to Stephon Diggs, and rightfully so. But then as soon as Mathieu goes out, the safeties are caught lacking. Gabe Davis shook that guy.
Definitely.
Oh, my gosh. Made him fall and embarrassed him.
It was beautiful.
It was kind of a running joke with Gabe Davis that all of his touchdowns, he's always wide open, that it's a back pedal to the end zone. And he added to that narrative again that most of his touches are not contested catches. They're wide open. We saw it again. Phenomenal game for him and Josh Allen.
They were all deep. They weren't just checkdowns. They were down the field.
Right.
Touchdown receptions.
And I think that's the difference. Tyrann Mathieu wouldn't have allowed that deep threat, I don't think.
Yeah, I think him at safety would have changed some things.
Definitely. Well, okay. I'm going to take your hot takes now. Who's in the Super Bowl?
A trilogy. The 49ers and the Bengals. Happened in 81-82 40 years ago. 88-89 is going to happen again in 21-22.
No.
I think the Niners are a team of destiny, and Big Daddy Joey Shiesty, I think he's got it in him.
Tell us, Jason.
It'll be the exact opposite of that. The Bengals are incapable of playing as good as the Bills gave the Chiefs their best. That was the best opportunity for the Chiefs to lose.
I know.
The Bengals are not capable, of playing as good as the Bills did. On the other side, let's go to the Rams. They have the better quarterback. They have the best receiver in the NFL. They have the best defensive tackle in the NFL, and they have the best corner in the NFL. And they're at home. Give me the Rams. Give me the Chiefs.
Something to note, the Niners did sweep the Rams in the regular season, so I know it's difficult to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Exactly.
I think they do it, though.
Jimmy G is not that guy.
Jimmy G is the kryptonite for a lot of people, though. I mean, he's proven to be the kryptonite for Aaron Rodgers. And so I think he could for Matthew Stafford. All right, well, that's all the time we have for our NFL segment. Thank you, Jason and Grant, for talking with me. When we come back, you'll hear my feelings about how the Bills and Chiefs game ended last night. Stay with us.
Oh, it keeps coming back. We're gonna need to go away.
Welcome to the HTF Hot Wings Challenge. One of you guys actually do hot sauce like regularly?
No.
No.
It's like the least black thing I do.
Oh, wow, okay.
I say Johnny goes first on this one.
I agree.
No, the Buccaneers are going to play the Washington football team today.
That can't happen.
It will happen.
I'm terrified.
No, I really hate it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. You're wrong. If it wasn't for Kanye jumping up on stage and doing that, I'm going to let you finish, but no one would know what it was.
Nitro's a dump truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Why is nitro thick?
I don't know how many squats I need to do to get up like something like that, but I will do it.
Oh! Oh my God!
Baseball, obvious reasons. Babe Ruth, if you want to go currently. I feel like that's just like a thing.
he jumped off the wall to catch the home run. We made it through all the way to the end. Thank you for joining us.
Well, we're back, and it's time for the rant part of our show. I want to talk about something that isn't necessarily a new problem, but it was something we saw on huge display last night in the Chiefs versus Bills game. I was heartbroken for Josh Allen, for Gabe Davis, a former UCF Knight, and for every faithful Bills fan. Especially because it felt like with the shootout we were witnessing, whoever won the coin toss would win the whole game when we went into overtime. And of course, that's what happened. And I don't think that's what we want football to be. But I also understand we can't end in a tie. With how hard Josh Allen fought, running almost every other play, hurdling defenders, throwing gorgeous deep passes, and then Gabe Davis there to catch everything, I feel like the Bills deserved the win. And they thought they had it twice. And at that point, the way the game was being played was that whoever had the ball was going to score. They were both that hot. So, okay, Kansas City wins the coin toss and scores. Of course they do. But in my opinion, both teams should get possession of the ball in overtime. And then if it's still a tie, that's when we go to the Russell Wilson idea of how to avoid that, which I'll remind you, do another coin toss. Whoever wins gets to choose if their kicker or the other team's kicker kicks a 57-yard-ish field goal. If the kicker makes it, his team wins. If he doesn't, the other team wins. There's strategy there and no way to end in a tie. And yes, maybe, just maybe, in a world where those rules were in place and both teams got to at least have possession of the ball in overtime, Kansas City would have scored. And maybe the Bills wouldn't have been able to get it done after all. But doesn't it kind of suck that we'll never know just because they never got the chance? It's something to think about for sure. But that's all the time we have for today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Hannah Jo Groves, and from Alex Funderburk, myself, and all of us here at HTFN, have a great week. Peace.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to